Hello everybody. Today we're just going to be going over the Lea Bertucci sample library. It's another one of the £29 libraries you can get from Spitfire Audio. I've just bought this literally probably only about an hour ago. I've not had much chance to try and use it. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a demo at the end of today's video. But yeah, I thought I'd just kind of go through the basics, the different sounds, the different patches, see what's available, and ultimately just give my verdict. So currently, I've got a couple of patches active on here. I've got three contacts. This runs through Spitfire Audio's own plugin. It's not through Contact, so you will have to just keep that in mind. It doesn't really hamper performance for me. If anything, I quite like it. I quite like that distinction. It's always good to have something that's not really Contact, so my template's not flooded with flooded with contacts. So with everything loaded in, you can see about 2.9 gig in terms of memory usage. That's fine. I wouldn't really recommend having all these active like this because the more you do that, the quicker your system can get overloaded. You'll have to excuse me today. Hay fever's getting me quite badly. We tend to suffer with that over here. Plants like to kill us off. I think it's fair. Everywhere else in the world, normally has animals or spiders trying to kill you off. Over here, it's the plants. It's just the trees. Harmless things, but they release the pollen and that's it. We're just incapacitated for an entire season. But moving on to that, you're not here to listen to my daily ordeal with plants. You're here to hopefully have a listen to this library and see what you think. So, from what I understand with the Lea Bertucci library, I hope I'm saying that correctly as well. I could be mispronouncing that. Please do let me know if that is the case. So, what I mainly get away from this is it's more to do with contemporary brass techniques, as well as some different kind of contemporary percussive elements there as well. There's a couple of granular patches too, which I've had a little look at. I've not really gone into too much detail. I wanted to more kind of save it for right now. So the first one here is the trumpet pitch bend. Now I'm actually just going to double check to make sure. Uh, yes, so I think I'm actually missing the harmonic mu variations. That's going to annoy me a bit, that as well. It's got that default picture. So I'll just load up the first one here. So this one here, it's rather quiet. So we'll just boost it up. But very nice sounding patch. It's rather quiet, so you might want to, you might have to boost that up, with a compressor perhaps. But I think it gives that quite nice sort of lonely, off in the distance vibe. So I'm not really much of a brass player, so I can't speak as to how that technique would actually be performed. Um, I've never really been much of a brass composer either, but I could likely see myself possibly using that. It's definitely got its uses. So if we just move on now to the Decay Swell. Okay, so we've got two lots of Decay Swells here. Actually, no, it was the pitch bend. So we'll go in order of what's here on there. So the pitch bend is quite unique. I quite like it personally. I don't think it's got much use outside of a very particular sound. I think you run the risk with this of if you use it, it's gonna be quite obvious what it is. You know, it's going to sound like it's from this library. I mean, to the untrained ear, of course, you know, it's going to be fine. I think the point I'm trying to make is, if you do use this and other people use it, there's not much room for the variation. So it's a very gradual pitch bend downwards. I really do like it. So yeah, it pitches down roughly just about a semitone. So it's got that kind of cool microtonality aspect to it as well. In terms of usability, it's definitely much more of an FX. I wouldn't really use this as any sort of melodic device, but it's got its uses. I really do like that patch. So the Decay Swell here, I don't think I've used this one yet. Okay, so that's interesting. I don't know if you could hear that on the tail end there. See, got some extra harmonics going over the top. You know, as that kind of main I'm not sure the word, but that kind of main note disappears, you get the rest sitting over the top. But it's quite prominent within the room. That's definitely giving it quite a unique sound to that. I like that. That's a good patch. So the minor second burst. You get the gist of it. The perfect fifth burst. There's a lot of room on this library. I think how they did it is they found like an old fridge. And they ended up recording it in there. But when I say fridge, I don't mean traditional kitchen fridge. I mean the kind of like large industrial scale things. I'm sure you can find more about it on the website. I've not looked too far into it, which is great for a sample library review when you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anyways, so moving on, we'll have a look at the glissando. So again, I don't really see myself using that too much, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who can definitely get use out of that particular sound. Okay, so the Decay Swell with room sound. Okay, so that's... It does. Yeah, so as soon as you kind of let go of that, that's when it starts to forcibly fade out a bit. That sounds incredible. That sounds really, really nice. I'll try not to use the word nice too much. I know it's not the preferred nomenclature for when you're discussing things of subjective value. I know that nice is a commoditive word that's thrown around quite a fair bit, so I'll try to refrain from using it, but no promises. I only have a limited vocabulary. So here we have the trumpet stabs. I'm not too sure kind of what the intended use of this one here is. You can't necessarily play quick because the room just drowns it out. Still, again, I'm sure that somebody could get use out of that somewhere. I don't particularly think I will. So here we move on to the tenor trombone patches. So similarly to before, we got the oh no, not similarly. We don't have this on the trumpet. So again, it's rather quiet. I like that. It's got a very, it's got an air of uniqueness about it. It's very warm, even though it's, you know, even though it's muted, and even though I'm assuming it's harmonics, it's a very warm sound. Plus, I like the way how it kind of warps. You get that very kind of sci-fi alien-y sound. Not Alien the movie, I just kind of mean the concept. I think that'd be perfect for a kind of large space sound. Again, when I say space, I mean a scene that's taking place within a large space, not necessarily outer space itself. I really need to be more consistent with my my descriptions. It's a little bit difficult on the fly. So, whistle tone glissando. Let's have a listen here. Okay, that's it's not really what I was expecting. It kind of sounds like that children's TV program. I think it's the clangers, where they're in outer space and they communicate through a series of whistles. My children used to love watching that. Show. I say used to as if I'm old. The eldest is coming up to 3. They just prefer more abstract things now. Again, I'm digressing away from the actual library itself. I think that'd be kind of perfect for atmosphere building or something a little bit more contemporary. I love how you can hear the breath in some of the samples as well. It just kind of adds a nice layer to it. So the tenor trombone pitch bend, I'm assuming this works in a similar fashion to the trumpet. Didn't seem to bend too much for me. I wonder if that's just going playing lower down. Yeah, it seems to be kind of hovering around the fundamental a little bit. Oh, okay, so eventually it does kind of fall down, but then I think because the sample's repeating itself, it then... Okay. It's good again, it's definitely got its uses, but I was expecting something more similar to the trumpet. So, anyways, we'll move on to the tenor trombone Decay Swell. Oh, that sounds gorgeous. I don't particularly think I'd use it in the sense that I'm using it here. again, that sounds really nice. Again with a whole nice. Okay, so the minor second burst. Perfect fifth burst. Then we got the smack. I'm not too sure what the sound is meant to be there, but again, I can see I can see the usage behind all of these. It's just the type of music I write. Maybe not necessarily. I don't think I'll keep a lot of these in my template. Actually, I want to clarify something that I said in yesterday's video. In that I said that I wasn't too sure if I was going to keep a lot of the Alex Epton stuff in. The reason why I say that is I don't necessarily like having huge long templates. You know, filled with kind of stuff that I'm not particularly going to use. It tends to me if I'm going to start writing a piece of music and I've got a sound in my head, I'll just start jumping around all these different patches trying to find something similar, and then I'll just go for the nearest possible thing. I think that's, you know, it's not necessarily a bad way of composition because you're getting a different sound out of it, but I don't necessarily think it's a productive way of going about actually composing. Like having all these things here, like with the Oliver Arnold stuff, for example. You know, if I'm after the Sona Road sound, I'll go through all of these, and then next thing I know, I've done an entirely different piece with an entirely different concept just based on all the different sounds that I'm testing out. It's good for on the fly composition, but not necessarily for actual head down composition, if that makes sense. Okay, so the shepherd tone here. Okay, so the whole concept of a shepherd tone, it's like, I think people call them like barbershop tones as well. It's meant to be perpetually rising. It's a cool concept, but again, I don't think I'd have any use for that. Okay, that's quite nice. You could probably use that in some kind of electroacoustic type music. So the cymbal roll. Okay, that's pretty nice. It takes a while, obviously, to kick in. So, here we have the cymbal swell. That's quite nice. I like how it blends in with the sound of the room, so you don't really get that that big transient at the end there. So the snare rolls. It's kind of a growing drone with that second one there. I don't know if it was just me hearing that, but it's kind of like a bassy drone to it. But yeah, I think that fills out the room quite nicely. So the snare crescendo. The snare strike. I'm missing anything else here, so just those two keys. What else we got? Okay, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so the timpani decay swell. Same concept as the last one. Timpani crescendo. Maybe same sort of thing. Timpani strike. disappointed you don't have the actual tonal variety. 2 notes there, you're only really getting C and G. So, you know, I suppose if you work in C major or G major a lot, that could be of use, but maybe not particularly for me. I don't normally like working in those keys. Wow. Alright, I really like that sound. I really like that. That's going to sound dreadful going through the restream, but wow, that really fills out the room. Yeah, Tom's Crescendo. It's the same concept as the last couple of times. Yeah, so triangle Decay Swell. So we've all heard a triangle before. Maybe not heard a triangle done this way. Done in a room which I can only describe as the local quarry. Okay, so the woodblock strike. Okay, so the dynamics for these are controlled by the mod wheel. I was just testing on the velocity there. Eccentric metals. So what we've got here. Okay. I think that appears to just be it. So okay. Right, we'll move on to the granular stuff. So this is the stuff which initially swayed me over to buying this library. I'm a huge fan of granular sounds. I have no idea how to even go about making them. If anybody would love to, you know, if anybody would care to share some light on that, I would be forever grateful. From what I understand, I'd have to currently sell several kidneys in order to afford all the equipment to do so. But you know, it's a nice alternative having them in £29 libraries. It's likely not best to build your entire harmonic foundation perhaps on this patch, but I don't think that's not really what it's for. It's more for kind of atmosphere building. You know, you could start off with that as a really. To be fair, well, I just discovered this here, so it gets kind of more warped the more you push up the mod wheel. That's a very viable. Tense minute scene. The bad guy's go. He's got you. There we go. Okay, maybe that's not perhaps the best patch to do that. To do that kind of sound. This is why I don't score action films. Okay, so the go easy one. Let's have a listen to this. Okay, so the mod wheel there kind of gives that a bit more of an attack. Maybe it's controlling dynamics, but I don't know, it's quite velocity sensitive, so. So I don't know, maybe you could use this one for more. Maybe don't hit the wrong note, Ethan. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. So we've got Dark Dream here. Again, it kind of gets more distorted and grainy the more you get on. That fade in the middle seems a little bit strange. It seems a bit sudden. Well, again, no saying that. That's fine, as long as I'm going like that. Again, you know, this could work as a very nice drone bass to layer on top of. If you're into that kind of contemporary grainy sound, then that's absolutely a patch that would be of interest to you. Okay, so we'll start from the module down. Okay. How's that sound in the lower end? Oh, that's very eerie. Oh. Well, that could definitely be used for some very nice sound design. So trigger, what we got here? You have to be a little bit subtle with the mod wheel on libraries like this, because I think they kind of crossfade. You know, obviously care is taken with it, but it's still a £29 library. They're not going to be picture perfect. You know, if you aggressively move that up to the top, it's going to sound a bit strange. But you know, if you gently move it up. Some excellent soundscaping and sound design potential in this library, absolutely. So you got this one here, Virile or Virile. I could be mispronouncing that. Again, please tell me if I am. Seems to be more of a percussive. And then the last one for today. Okay, maybe not good for that type of sound. Given, I think it's a fifth above that it's sounding out, so you go going on there. I'm not much of a vocalist, if you couldn't tell. Okay, so I think my overall verdict with the Lea Bertucci one, this library confuses me a little bit because I'm not exactly too sure what it's trying to achieve. I'm not exactly too sure if it's trying to be more of a contemporary sound design library or if it's trying to bring some new kind of melodic and harmonic patches to the field. I'm steering more towards it being a more contemporary library geared towards those in sound design or those looking at getting into sound design. You know, for kind of like creating atmospherics, different soundscapes. There were a lot of patches in here which I wouldn't mind using for stuff like electroacoustic music. Not that I'm a big fan of electroacoustic music. I just think it's definitely got the potential for that sort of thing. Is it worth the £29? I'm steering towards yes. It's not maybe as valuable as the OPW patch. You can see here the OPW one. You can just see how much stuff you actually get in there. You don't get as much in this patch, and I'd say it's slightly okay. Yeah, it's probably on the same footing as the Alex Epson one, which you'd expect with them being both £29. The Alex Septon one, I would say, is probably more value for your money, just because I think it's got that little bit more flexibility in it. But in terms of bringing something new to the table, yeah, this Lea Bertucci album library is definitely worth considering. The different brass techniques are unique. They're definitely quite usable. You will have to kind of force them to fit in whatever it is that you're trying to do. So that's always just a consideration. Like I said today, there's not going to be any particular demo on this, just because I need to get to know the library a little bit better first. This has very much been a first impressions view of the library, but overall, yeah, I would recommend buying this. It's a credible library. Again, all the Spitfire Audio's £29 libraries are incredible value. I think my only qualm with this library is that it does feel like a £29 library, but you still get a tremendous amount in there. You can still probably get a tremendous amount of use out of this. It's just geared towards perhaps a different type of composer. So, as always, thank you for watching. I'm going to try and make these reviews a little bit more consistent. So I'm going to be looking at doing the OPW £29 library from Spitfire, which I believe is kind of like the king of all these £29 libraries. There's also a lot more that I want to get into as well, like the Oliver Arnold stuff, so you can expect that over the next couple of weeks perhaps. But yeah, again, thank you for watching. I always appreciate it when people take the time out of the day just to listen to my music or just watch these videos. Indulging in the habits of a 22-year-old who's sat talking into his microphone. But yeah, have yourself a great day, and I will see you in the next one.